Good morning, 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 and welcome. This is Clarence Simmons in Loss Prevention, Texas, and we're doing our podcast number one. Everybody starts with 100. We're going to start with number one, and that's because we have a number one rated person in our building this morning that's going to be on our podcast. We want to introduce you this morning to a gentleman from Rochester Armored Car. His name is Mr. Daniel Salazar, and we're going to bring him on right. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Simmons.
Yes,
Appreciate the invite.
thank you. And I tell you, you are among royalty. You're number one.
Two pound. Thank you.
Yes. Well, the reason why we brought you on is because you are part of a very important part of the security industry and what you do, and a lot of people don't know what you do. And first of all, before we get into what you do, let's find out who you are. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So yes, my name is Daniel Salazar. I'm the branch manager for Rochester Armored Car here in Corpus Christi, Texas. We've been here roughly about 4 years, starting at 2020, the height of the pandemic, considered essential workers. Started off with little hopes and aspirations, and became pretty quite significant in the last 4 years, based off customer service and reliability, and of course, the trustworthiness that we have with our clientele.
Okay, and now you yourself, how long have you been in the security industry?
I've been in the security industry for 12 years now. Started in 2012. Started off as a armored car courier. Worked my way to learning ATMs. Found my way into the vault. Dealing with liabilities and distribution and the logistics of it all, and making sure they were sent to the proper locations for processing.
Well, that seems like a very important thing. You mentioned uh, ATMs. So y'all, what you service the ATMs, or what do you do with them?
Yeah, so we're in charge of fulfilling contracts for replenishments or balancing of the ATM. So basic functions is take out the old money, put in fresh money when required or on contract.
You mean that stuff doesn't just go? You actually have to have someone physically do that?
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay. Well, that's something that I didn't realize that you did. So that in itself, I know when I go to an ATM, I always expect it to work. So in other words, if you guys weren't around, it probably wouldn't work.
Well, we do our best. We just try to maintain as much as possible. There are other technicians that are well more qualified than we are. We're just there to do the replenishment process and make sure that it's up and running for the customer. And if at all, any knowledge to do easy, quick fixes, whether replenish receipt paper or clear jams, things of that nature. So um, it's pretty extensive after everything's said and done. A lot of moving parts when it comes to ATMs.
So so your job is more than just uh, running that truck around that drops off stuff at people. Let's get into that dropping off stuff. I know you said you got your start during the pandemic in this area, or started moving forward in this area during that time. Uh, I'm just thinking, when I was in business a long time ago and not doing security, I used to go to the bank and I was always looking over my shoulder. So, in other words, I can contract with someone to do that so I don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely. We do a lot of cash management, contracts, whether it be for just courier, cash, cash room work, which means basically uh, processing the deposits from any financial institution or customer base, whether it be retail or restaurants. So pretty extensive. You can visit our website at rochestersarmorcar.com. Learn a little bit about us and what we're about and what we do in the cash logistics part.
Okay, can you say that website one more time?
RochesterArmoredCar.com.
Okay, so now if anybody wanted to get that, I think you called it a cash management service where they're delivering and dropping off, they could just contact you at that website, or is there another number? Is there a number they can contact?
Other than the website, if you do find yourself there, there are extensive, I guess, options to choose from dealing with what type of service you would like to have Rochester provide or look into. They will direct you to the right or the appropriate contact within the home office and go ahead and get you situated and go over pricing, go over the contract, service days, the whole 9 yards. We work really hard in making sure that we try to cover all aspects of what you need and what are the best possible outcomes that uh, could be potentially if we were to work with you.
Okay, now you said home office, like are y'all like in Corpus Christi or
Okay,
Texas
so
or?
yeah, I guess I should elaborate. Home office is going to be Omaha, Nebraska. That's our main office where we have all our admin staff. The president of the company works out of there. So with that branch, you not only we provide service with the surrounding area in Omaha, but it is home to all our admin staff there. So can definitely uh, help you out with any needs that you may have.
So y'all like nationwide or several statewide or?
No, we're in the middle here in the United States. We work north and south of the U.S. here. So I want to say we roughly have over. I might be scolded for this, but not knowing the answer, but maybe 30 or more branches in total.
Shame on you,
Yeah,
son.
yeah. I should have taken that note, right? But no, we cover mostly the mid, north, and south of the U.S. here.
Okay, now as far as employment and things of that nature, I know that you kind of mentioned your background. As far as someone wanting to come to work for you, what would they need to have as far as obviously a driver's license,
Right.
no doubt.
The requirements are for at least to have a valid driver's license and a clean background. We use a third-party service that collects the information we get upon the interview and submit to our recruiting team in Omaha, Nebraska. And from there, we wait about 7 to 10 business days to get back some information. It spans from credit score, driving record, uh, even to making sure that there's nothing in the background that would disqualify any individual applying for a position, which would be a driver messenger, is usually the first position that becomes available and first position that someone comes into starting.
Okay, now I know that that's part of your process because I kind of instruct some of your people, but y'all also have to be licensed security officers.
Correct. So we definitely start with level two. We take care of that. I'm considered an instructor for Rochester Armored Car as a representative to conduct those level two exams. And once that's complete, we go through the application process through TOPS, which is a security portal.
That's for those of you that don't know, TOPS is Texas Online Private Security.
Right.
One of those fancy names the state of Texas gives
Yeah.
their licensing system.
Yeah, so yeah, we submit the level two. We start putting that individual through the process of collecting their fingerprints on appointment, application fee, obviously paid for by the company. Um, Not too sure, I can't speak for other couriers, but for Rochester, we definitely take care of the fees when it comes to the licensing. Um, so from level two. Once that's completed and that pocket card is in hand, turn them over to Mr. Simmons for a level three within the 90-day probationary period. Within that time, we'll be conducting training, or what we call on the field training, OJT, on the job training, um, and find some time to schedule Mr. Simmons to take care of that level three commission licensing through the state.
So, from my understanding, this is just like any other security job, but this is more, as far as I'm concerned, uh, more of an important job, if you can say that, if that's proper grammar, because you're dealing with my money or everybody's money. So,
Right, right.
so
It's a big liability there. With the clientele that we have, based off of financial institutions, which I mentioned before, retailers, or even restaurants. So when these contracts are conducted by our salespersons there in home office or Omaha, Nebraska, they definitely go over, the finer points of what is needed for the contract to be completed, and then for us to go ahead and take over and provide the services. So after that's all said and done, we provide all insurances as well in the incident of in case of a robbery. But those are the fine details within those contracts that get ironed out before services start.
now let's say my favorite guy that I always talk about is Billy Bob. Let's say Billy Bob's Burgers. Billy Bob's Burgers has three burger joints, three restaurants, and he wants you to pick up from those restaurants, let's say uh, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so you mean that y'all could actually do that for Billy Bob, for of course under a contracted price?
Correct. So once everything gets hashed out with our salesmen or salespeople, whoever's involved, we'll discuss service dates and the logistics part of it. And once that is all input into our system, which we do use I guess, a Google Maps based routing system that allows us to be as efficient as possible, and we just plug in um, Big Billy Bob's Burgers, and understand where they're at, where they're located, the address. Once that all that's plugged in, and the service days, we generate and populate a manifest or routing for the route that's in charge of that area at that moment in time. So once that's complete, we can start services you know as soon as the contract's signed.
So that's awesome. And so, from my understanding, you have in place background check before you're hired by you. Uh, the state of Texas also does an FBI Texas background check.
Correct.
Uh, so I guess you could say these people are double background checked. Plus, you have probably have something that you do independently from time to time. Uh, what would a person do if they wanted to apply with you?
Well, we have an amazing recruiting team there in Omaha, Nebraska. So we work through Indeed, Indeed.com, and once these filters of going through security work, or if we happen to pop up under security or armored car services, if we do have positions available, we will open up requisitions to have them available. So once they are, can definitely apply. Um, History, or previous employment that directly relates to security is always a plus, but we're always looking for great people that are willing to build and maintain relationships, so which is our customers. And I think that's attributed to how successful we've become here in Corpus Christi. So thanks to the security officers that we currently have, and those in the past have helped build that. So once applying on Indeed, all your information will get sent to the recruiting team. Once they're filtered out from the head of recruiting, which is Ashley Mueller, she'll be able to send me resumes of folks that are interested in the position, and from there I get to sift through work history, and figure out who would be the best possible candidate.
So I guess the vetting system is a very good vetting system because those people are put in a position of trust, of public trust. And
Right.
you mentioned something there, customer service. So customer service, I guess, since you're going from client to client, or from business to business, customer service is a big part of your business, or would you say a small part of your business?
Most would say since we're in the security world, security is, first and foremost. And for me, I always use the percentages. I would always say at least 90% security work and 10% customer service. Understandably, we are carrying liability to and from locations and always have to be aware of our surroundings and staying safe and following policies and procedures. Um, you know, uh, simple thank you, hello, appreciate your business goes a long way. A lot of other carriers tend to forget that, and I think is the reason why we've become pretty popular with the locals here. So very, very fortunate to be part of a great company that puts customer service at the forefront, along understanding that security is primarily our job.
So I guess you're saying customer service is a big, medium, big, small part of your security business, making
And
security.
in a roundabout way, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, and that's why Rochester makes their clients happy because of that, the security and also the customer service.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone in now. We're looking at. I'm not sure how much time we've actually used. Uh, We're right at 17 minutes. What I want to do, let's take a break. And we'll come right back in just a second and we'll do a little bit more. This is Clarence Simmons and I'm with Daniel Salazar today from Rochester Armored Car. We'll be right back. I said we'll be right back. I'm looking for the button. Be right back. We're coming back. Well, we got it stopped, and now it's time to get started again. We're back with Mr. Daniel Salazar, Rochester Armor Car, on our first podcast, and you can see these podcasts. We're going to put them as in many places as we can. We'll have that on our website, and also we're going to run these on Facebook. So if you're looking at any of these items or any of these places where this podcast is, you can apply for a job at Rochester Armored Car. And no matter, and depends on the area that you're in. Remember, they have to be working in that area, which they have a pretty good size area as far as their corporation goes. So
Right.
anywhere in that area. So we're back with Mr. Daniel Salazar, and a couple of things. Uh, Training your people that are working on the armor car service. You said they had a probationary period. What are they doing in that probationary period?
So what happens during the probationary period is they're actually jumping on the truck, learning the route that hopefully they're looking to replace somebody or add a new partner to. So um, once on there, you're definitely going to understand the area that you're going to be working in. It may not be the same every day, depending on the service levels of the customers that we have currently. It also will have to take in consideration, points of contact, areas to operate in that are secured because you are dealing with liability. So you want to make sure that in a secured location, never left open or left unattended is one of the main priorities, and do that exchange of custody, take possession, and then bring it back to the truck. So within
You're talking about money. Don't you can't just leave it laying on the sidewalk. I get what you're saying.
even though
Take care of it. Yeah.
Yes, no, even though I've seen many reports of ATM money being left behind by national couriers, won't mention any names, so we'll just leave it at that.
Notice you said he wouldn't mention any names. Not his courier, other people. Yeah, I know that. From my experience with sometimes you get to a place and it's not as it should be. I used to get alarm calls, and yeah, it's important that people that are working there are conscientious of making sure things are closed behind them and things of that nature, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
So
it helps with that whoever they're serving their security also.
absolutely. So, again, we're always looking for people of integrity, understanding that customers are trusting us with their money and making sure that we get it to its destination. So back to the probationary period, once the 2 weeks are done, which are about 10 business days, um, you're also introducing yourself from the company to the customer and building a routine. Once that routine becomes a little more familiar, we move on to the driving aspect of the job. So by the third week, we definitely try to have you and your partner, so to speak, to change positions as the days go by. So one day on, one day off. So definitely try to make sure we make the workload as even as possible. So this way we don't overwork anybody or overexert. Because not only we're dealing with currency, um, excuse me, currency, we're also dealing with coins. So the coin itself can be
Heavy.
heavy, pretty rigorous. We have our clientele or financial institutions that order, their amounts, and we're required to go ahead and make sure that not only the currency goes in, but the coin as well. So definitely have to be fit to be moving off the truck and moving these boxes of coin around.
Okay, now are these jobs open to both men and women?
Absolutely. I do have male and female officers, all qualified and are eligible to carry on while on duty. Thanks to Mr. Simmons here, filling out his 48-hour class. Once that's done, we also move to the newly introduced psych eval that is required by the state of Texas to be done also uh, within a timely manner after hired with the company.
So as your level two, that's not required, but as you move into level three, what he's talking about is a MMPI. It's a psychological examination, and all armed security officers, whether they be level three, which is uniform, or working as bodyguards in level four, they have to have that MMPI. The level two, the unarmed people don't. But when you get into level three and level four, those people do, and the and Mr. Salazar, his people are going to eventually, as they make their way through probation, uh, end up as level three officers because that's what's required of them. They have to be. It's an armored car, and they have to be also armed. So that's kind of a deal. Speaking of armed, we're just speaking on the break. You know, a lot of security companies, and whether it be a government letter of authority or a private letter of authority or security services contractor like the Armored Car and most security companies are, most of those people have to have or purchase their own weapon.
Right. So we did at one point assign firearms to employees, but slowly phased out of that. Just for the reason that I believe the commission licensing is assigned to the actual individual. So the individual using the firearm to qualify also, I believe, gets registered along with that officer. So we do require that they provide their own firearm, duty belt, and even back pouch. Don't have a whole lot of requirements. I know Mr. Simmons offers baton, cuff, and OC spray. But as a company, Rochester definitely wants to make sure that we are we don't look too tactical. Is the terminology that's kind of flung around there, but we definitely want to be able to stand out in a crowd using the appropriated uniform sanctioned by the state of Texas, which would be the Rochester logo on a hat or ball cap and on their left chest and left shoulder.
Okay,
So,
so basically following the state guidelines of what's
correct.
supposed to be there.
Right.
Right. Well, it's very important that a lot of people know, and this way they have an introduction as to what to look forward to. Also, if someone doesn't have an idea, if they're sitting back on the couch looking at this, thinking about what am I going to do for a living, uh, good industry to get into as far as you would think.
I would think so. I mean, I spent 12 amazing years working from the bottom up, and my first opportunity as a branch manager here. It's been a really great process to get to learn not only dealing with the liability, which is the money, but also the logistics part where you have your routes taking care of certain areas and making sure that they are being as efficient as possible and also being safe. So it's been quite a learning experience, and till this day, I'm still learning new things and involved in different and special projects that kind of widen the spectrum for me as to what Rochester can do for customers.
Very good. Well, Mr. Salazar, it's been a pleasure here with you this morning, and this will be played and online for all to see forever uh, until the internet, until our internet service stops because of a raindrop falling.
Sure.
Uh, but it's very important, and it's very important that people know what you do and how to do it. And folks, if you're sitting at home and you meet the qualifications, uh, there may be a job for you at Rochester Armored Car. And keep that in mind. And again, that is on Indeed,
Indeed.com, yes, sir.
Indeed.com, and probably look under security officers. And so that's where you'll find it, and that's where you need to look. And if it's something that you want to do, heck, it's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. And you can do it if you choose. So, with that in mind, Mr. Salazar, thank you very much for being here. Do you have anything else?
No, I appreciate the opportunity. This being my first one as well. So hopefully we compiled enough information for those that are looking to seek anything in the security uh, industry. Pretty small community here in Corpus Christi. So, if you're looking for a change, a pace, Rochester can definitely offer something for you. Challenge pretty much every day.
Thank you very much. Folks, we'll catch you later. This is Clarence Simmons. Adios.
Bye, everybody.